We are back at Meta Unshackled at MGM Pack, New York City, 2023, and I'm here with we have three hosts. This is such an important podcast that we have three hosts for one guest. So we have TJ here with us. First, let me reintroduce my hosts.
George Stanchev, Pure 5, faster, cheaper, better extraction.
And special guest host for this podcast, and maybe this podcast only, Rocco.
And a surprise guest host. I am Rocco, the Chief Brand Officer for 710 Psi.
And you are the subject matter expert, so we need you on this podcast. So we've got a really cool brand. This is kind of a Canterbury Tale podcast. You know, we're working on putting this together. But so this is basically a Canterbury Tale one. But we have a really cool guy with a really cool brand that's breaking into the market. And there's a lot of them here. You know, we haven't really pulled the brands over to interview that much. We should. We're getting a lot of ancillary auxiliary today. But this is MyHi and TJ from MyHi.
What's up, everyone? Thanks for having me on the show. Super excited to meet you guys.
How you doing? Get a little closer in here.
What's up, everyone? Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Can you hear me in the back? Excellent.
So TJ and I met a couple times. He's navigating his way through the cannabis industry. Let's just for the audience so they can catch up. How did you get into cannabis? Let's get to the point where you started cannabis and MyHi. Before that,
long story short, I was a long-time consumer packaged goods guy, bringing different brands across categories to consumers' lives. I'm a long-time cannabis consumer at the same time, but didn't know exactly that would be my path until I ran into my mom's health condition, which she needed cannabis. And I saw, frankly, the gap of brands that are approachable to non-consumers and how to bring them there. I started with CBD. THC actually came later. I thought CBD was the more scalable route with my skill set. And then I saw social consumption of alcohol and the need for cannabis to replace. And how do we socialize cannabis into the same experiences?
And where are you based out of?
Oh, that's a tough question. I live in California, Michigan, and Mass right now, but I keep pretty in the air.
That's nice. Like a ball that I might juggle.
That makes it very difficult.
If there were three of me, though, I'd be way better at being in three states.
Like what's in the air all the time. Okay, so like juggling balls. One's always in there. So real quickly, MyHi, great concept, love it. Seen you around. I know you're doing well, and you want to, be one of the first great brands of the soon-to-be international cannabis industry. Where did the idea come from? This is very kind of unique.
So our product, we basically turn water into weed. It's a powder and a stick that you can infuse anything you're drinking. So long story short, this stick already existed, but it was to infuse caffeine. Caffeine doesn't need a new approachability. THC does, CBD does, for people to know how to consume a product that they don't smoke. They don't eat gummy bears because they might be an adult. Some things like that you have to be careful of approachability. To my grandmother, who's like, I don't do drugs. I'm like, okay, let me show you something different. So glass of water, I'm going to do one here. I don't know if these guys are ready for my heavy dose on this show, but basically you peel this label off. They probably can't see those holes, but you'll see while you stir it.
Look at this. We have magic happening.
Thought is water, weed. There's
Good
a
Lord.
biblical story of a guy turning water into wine.
Wine's
a hell of a drug.
You are the Jesus of the cannabis industry.
So you see it all starts to go
he
through
is
those
like
holes.
he is the Jesus of the cannabis industry, folks.
That's the thought. And you can be too, portably and easily.
You can be your own personal Jesus, which is actually a song by Depeche
Do
Mode.
you only use water when you're mixing it?
So
or
I like to
Ooh,
tell
there you
people
go.
on the first one, our
Rocco's like,
differentiators.
let's turn this up a notch automatically.
You wouldn't believe the questions I get to. Trust me, it's a
No.
powder. People ask questions.
Yeah, right. And I snort it, of course.
Differences: taste-free, calorie-free, sugar-free, and
Rocco.
water. These are lightly flavored. The heavy dose,
Yep.
so it's a light tea flavor. But I think you look across cannabis, there's so many sugars, chemicals, etc.,
Sure.
to cover up bad THC taste.
Yeah.
None of that. We use all natural monk fruit. So I'd say taste it in water. Also, if you're a new consumer learning your dose, it's better to get that homogeneous stir in. Once it's in, you can leave it in there and it'll stay in. And you're getting the milligrams per. So take a tenth of this, you're getting 2 milligrams. 2 milligrams might be your dose. Stay there. But then you can do anything you want. Sorry. Please.
Can you tell the real advantages of
Yeah.
doing water soluble than going through a tincture? So how are customers going to feel it?
How are they going to feel it differently versus
Yes.
tincture? So body is, you're going to remind me. I'm a marketing guy, not a scientist, so he's going to test me on this one. I like it. 60%, 65% water, not oil. So the way your body absorbs a product, is turning it into water. So I learned this in layman's terms because, again, I'm a marketing guy. Essentially, your body breaks an oil down to a nanoparticle size, which is going all the way down through the liver. It's coating it with a water-soluble or a water-friendly molecule that helps it get into your bloodstream. That's inefficient. That's why you think of the brownie story from your mom that in college she ate a brownie and was high for 4 days. It's your body processing THC into your bloodstream. So doing that before it goes in the body helps you feel the effects faster. And frankly, I think it's more controllable that way. It's not going to hit harder. It's going to be faster to get to the point you're trying to get to. So you know, hey, stop. That's why a lot of people like smoking, because you hit the joint, you're too high, you stop smoking.
Instant feedback.
You want to try it, Rocco?
Try what?
You want to try the
Try it?
tea?
Tea?
Sure.
You are a taste tester.
All right.
We brought you
Hot
on
seat.
here for a
Hot
reason. He is Mr. Colorado. By the way, you're talking about one of the OGs. You're talking to right here, one of the OGs of
That
the
does
cannabis
taste
industry
Yeah.
in Colorado, from the original group. This man knows his way around substances.
Outstanding substances. Oh, strong category.
I'm
of
curious.
All of them.
I like to describe myself as curious.
Curious.
That word. I microdose substances for experiences. I don't do drugs.
He has no
Well,
fear.
You do have to test.
Yeah, always.
So, from a consumer standpoint, what do you think?
Very pleasant taste, and there was no grit, so it does seem to be dissolving. Tastes great.
It's funny you'll see
Now we'll
these
see.
powders. These are my flavor. The THC stays in. I gotta get the powder guys on the
I
flavor.
did not taste any THC.
Awesome.
You feel good about it? Do they have stuff like you've seen this before?
I mean, there are all kinds of products that you can mix into various liquids.
I've only seen a couple. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, like Ripple and
Yeah.
there's Azuka.
Yep.
That's here.
They're here.
Yep. So there are some others.
They
out there,
they
but,
powdery form.
Mhm.
Yeah, but they don't have a straw like this.
No, I've not seen that before.
Yeah, if that thing functions as a straw.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Multiple form factors. One, I did the peeling in. If you don't peel in, you can pop this off the top,
Uh-huh.
and that becomes your cocktail straw. So if you know, you know, but now you don't know I'm drinking an infused drink any longer. So the
Right.
portability and flexibility to go
Right?
anywhere, that helps. There are
cool.
other powders.
I love the straw thing.
But
Yeah.
sit next to me and try to put one of those sachets in at the bar. See how it goes.
Imagine if Jesus
And that
turned water
says
to wine
20
and gave you straw.
milligrams.
That's
for
a
the whole
20 in one dose. I say if you take it like a shot, it's about a half a gram joint for a
Yep.
smoker.
Yep.
And it's a smoker's high, not an edible high. Very different
Oh, it is.
experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
thing. Interesting.
You can do a pixie stick if you want to put it to the test as our connoisseur.
If-
You'll feel it
Rock-
before we stop talking.
Rocco,
No,
if
that's all right.
if you snort that, I'll give you
I
$50.
had dosed on the way
he
over
got
here.
there. 50?
If you
I'll do
snort,
it for
I'll give you
100 on camera.
No.
What happens if you snort? Just,
Works like a charm. I test everything for my customers. I get the question, I'd rather safety before they do it. Through your nose is one of the fastest ways into the bloodstream. However, it's not recommended to snort anything. And we do have other powders in there, so it's too much powder for the active ingredient. If you need a medical dose and you need relief now, I won't stop you from doing anything with a plant.
okay,
How's
that's
that?
good to
Not
know.
a doctor, so don't listen to my advice. But that's what I read online.
What,
It must be true.
I was high, though, so.
Yeah.
what do you think? What do you think,
I
George?
think that's an amazing way to approach. It has very fast bioavailability, and that really helps into the absorption. Otherwise, in oil form, the oil is inefficient. You have to add minerals and vitamins and all kind of other substances, the enzymes, to break it out properly. And now, when it is stabilized in that form, the body takes it much faster.
That's it.
Do you
Doesn't
have a
go to the liver. That's the biggest thing of converting the delta 9 to delta 11, which some people cannot take very well.
Delta 9s and Delta 11? Okay. Do you have flavorless versions?
We do, which is our most impressive because I think flavorless in water is what everybody wants. You're drinking coffee,
Right.
you're drinking a mocktail, you're drinking whatever. So our 5 and 10s are flavorless, and the only reason we use the monk fruit is to cover the green coffee bean, which has a tiny bitter note.
That increases Rocco's ability to mix it with all of his cocktails.
Right?
He's like,
Yeah, that's a great idea to
It's like
mix
how-
with your coffee or
right.
espresso in the
You
morning.
could, what would happen if you put that with like a shot? You know, that'd be pretty good.
So alcohol is a hell of a drug. If you're a new
Yeah.
consumer, don't blame weed for your alcohol problems. You were already going to get
Right,
sick.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
not the weed. Every time they say, I had that one little hit of a joint, game was over. Right.
Yeah.
Thought is, if you know what you're doing and you crossfade, it's a beautiful combination. Actually, my dad was part of my inspiration for the THC side. He's a Coors Light or a whiskey and Coke type everyday guy, finally understood cannabis. And he drinks 2 less drinks a day, which to me is a huge win for my dad's health.
Now, what is this made of?
It's plastic. I don't
is
hide
plastic.
from that. Single-use plastic. However, you see all the functionalities I didn't even get to. This is a golf tee, so get dad drinks in golf. It's a perfect golf tee, believe it or not. It also works as a joint packer, grinder, cleaner,
Wow.
all those other things you might need as a cannabis
It
consumer.
is a golf tee.
So maybe
But-
a biodegradable hemp.
Oh, yes.
Upgrade.
We're getting there. That's
All right.
coming. But in the meantime, it's fully recyclable. Most people go, oh, good enough, put it in the recycle bin. I can't make another stick, so it's not good enough. For everyone we sell, we bring a plastic water bottle out of the ocean, stick for plastic, and it's 4 times the plastic of a water bottle. So we're negative as a company.
There's a company that has a product similar, a hemp plastic that's biodegradable, but it's only biodegradable if it goes into the soil. So if you can figure out another
What's the
soil
company?
applicator.
Biodegradable.
Is it in
only-
Colorado?
No, they're here. I can't remember the name. It escapes me at the
So here's my
moment.
challenge to the industry. It's so far behind because of all the stigma around
Yeah.
the plant that they don't have machine technology to get hemp to this complicated of a structure.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to support the right company to do that with them, because I think if we can make this shape, we can solve a whole lot of problems. The paper straw doesn't solve the straw problem. You still need a real straw to function.
Right. Yep.
This, if we can make that complexity,
and
they can do anything.
Fascinating thing about their hemp plastic is that you can put it in the dishwasher and wash it every day for 90 days and it doesn't change at all. As soon as you put it in the soil in 14 days, gone.
14 days.
14 days.
Is that image that went popular a long time ago? There was like a plastic bottle and it was like
I
years
just learned
later
about
the
this
same.
this weekend. I met somebody at the hotel
Is it
bar.
pretty easy to
Hotel
get?
bar. Always
That's
see.
where it
You can't have
happens.
cannabis in there, so how are you ever going to network?
Oh, we did.
Is it easy?
We did both.
Voila.
We networked and we had cannabis.
Is it pretty easy to find plastic hemp plastic manufacturers?
No, it's not.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And they all make one brown round shape, and I'm like, let's try
And this
harder.
one is revolutionary. This plastic, in that
Excited.
it degrades in the soil in 14 days, but you can use it. I saw utensils like forks and spoons and knives that they were showing us.
Excellent. So where are you at as a company? What's next for you? What's your status?
Lots of good stuff going on. So CBD Company was actually first. We just launched nationally holistic wellness in Vitamin Shop, so you can get that near you. Try the stick out in CBD form. Hopefully MyHi will be close. We're in California, Michigan, and Massachusetts with MyHi. You have to do that obviously state by state. New York is next on the ring. Hopefully in June we'll be live in New York, and then kind of going from there. Jersey, I've been told Arizona's a pretty good place.
Yeah, it's a good market.
As you get into winter, I love Arizona.
What about like Europe?
Europe on the list. Frankly, it's a matter of who our partner is going to be that we look at states, because we think it can work anywhere. We need the right partner, the right retail structure, consumer openness. Frankly, to be able to go into a bar and stir this in without somebody kicking you out because they want cannabis as part of their culture. We look at things like that on market dynamics before we pick anything.
That's great. And MyHi, obviously, MyHi. Anything else behind that name?
No, MyHi, my way. It was inspired by the Mai Tai. You see, it's like it sits like a little umbrella on your glass. You get every time you go from this was a water to the coolest looking drink in the bar. Obviously, you put some ice and a lime, it looks prettier than the dingy water. But when you make a mocktail like these that we do, you get looks from across the bar. That's my Pineapple Express. What is that? We always have a pun.
Yeah, you
He's
can have
got
like
one.
a catchline like "release your own personal Jesus"
Ooh, I like that.
kind of thing. You know,
We go stir in,
let
no
the
wait,
Jesus inside
elevate.
you.
That's our key tagline,
wait,
and then turn
elevate.
water into weed catches them from across the room. So
Yeah,
like, huh?
turning water into weed.
And this was inspired for your mother? Is that right?
Originally, the CBD, the approachability of the stick for her and others like her to say, yeah, I'll pop some of this in my tea to try to sleep.
So you're targeting that demographic? too?
Everybody.
Everybody.
My argument is seniors have not been targeted enough. They need all of the benefits of cannabis, and nobody seems to care about them, down to millennials aren't
And as you
drinking
said,
anymore.
They don't want to smoke it.
Yeah.
So this is
Yeah, lungs hurt.
great.
You can't.
Yep.
Look at Rocco is like you're natural at this.
He's
you
bringing
know?
it to Colorado. I
It's
want to
like-
get back.
Yeah, we got to get this to Colorado. But I think, the glory days of Colorado, sorry, Colorado, are kind of behind us. It's going to be all California here on out.
Could be.
And,
All New York.
well, and federal legalization and international legalization, you've been around the world, Rocco. Everybody's going to be asking for California bud, California products, California manufacturing. What's your connection to California? That's why I always advise people fight in California. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go gray market if you have to. I mean, it's not can't really advise that. But if you develop something out of California and the California consumers are familiar with it, and everybody in the OC is using it when federal legalization happens, it's going to be big. It's just you can't change that. It's like champagne out of or Napa, whatever the different things. Not Napa, Silicon Valley. There's certain areas that are known for certain things, and people are like in Spain and Amsterdam aren't going to be asking for New York bud or Illinois manufactured goods. They're going to be asking for California. So I always say fight, and win in California. That's always a good idea. So,
Yeah.
Agreed. My only argument is I don't think cannabis exists yet. I think most people don't consume cannabis at any point in their day. You should be consuming some form of cannabis at all points in your day. And think of another category like soda. It's Coke and it's Pepsi. And they own soda sales. So it's who's going to drive into every house in America, every house in the world, their CBD consumption from morning till night, their THC, their bedtime formulas. There's a lot of opportunity to still win new consumers that don't give up on me, the pothead, who happily smokes my flower of choice. Look for the new consumer who will pay a lot of money for 2 milligrams that'll help ease their day from their stressful kids.
with 1,000% certainty, I can see this being in some sort of bedtime formula type thing, and people just having one before they go to sleep.
Wait for it.
It's
I'm gonna have
just
to show you CBD now. For the record, THC is not built for sleep. If you look at your sleep patterns, you end up your brain's still working at night. This is our Holistic Sleep, which is from our Holistic Wellness brand, now available at your vitamin shop. It's chamomile, melatonin, and hemp-derived CBD. We grow our hemp indoor in a greenhouse, so it's clean from seed to stick, and it works. You need one. You need a night's sleep. You want to wake up feeling like a newborn child in the morning. One does it, which CBD has gotten a bad rap because people try a month's worth and then they end up with no results. So we think direct ailment. For the record, there is melatonin. It's 5 milligrams, but melatonin consumers say they had a better night's sleep. So I think showing experiences like that help a lot.
I love it, man. And you're bringing the word of the big man to the people.
Do what we can.
It's
Only to support nature.
It's a double, triple, quadruple mission. And Rocco likes it. George, what do you think?
I support the idea of having cannabis as a gourmet in any kitchen, and that helps a lot because in water-soluble form you can add it to any drink and any meat, and you can spike it with some taste, and it's regional. You make it a Texas hot, or you make it I don't know, some Chinese style.
So what are you looking for out there, and how do people get in touch with you?
Lots of ways to get in touch. All of our websites, GetMyhi and Holistic, I'm sure will be on the show notes. Instagram, I'm available. I answer anything. Say I saw this guy and he said something I didn't agree with, so call me out on Instagram. I'm there anytime. I'm TJ. You'll find me at any of the items, and then all the stores I mentioned. Come on by, try a product, reach out, send me a review. Love to hear what you think.
We need to ask for people to share their Instagrams more. That's something we need to get on. So
It helps. They keep us from Instagram. I make beautiful reels that are fun and recipes, and I get 32 likes. So please make it 34. My mom will be proud.
Well, thank you, TJ, for joining us. And wonderful. We wish you the best of luck on your product. Wonderful product. And George, Rocco, thank you. This has been another episode of Meet Unshackled. And thanking again our sponsors, Pure 5, Jack Herrera, and Cali FX. And please reach out to them and support them. Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.